Arbor Day Square. Katie takes a deep breath. Everything smells new, she tells Papa, and everything does. Their prairie town is growing week by week. Now they have stores with glass windows, a church with a steeple, and a schoolhouse with desks for all 17 students to sit in long rows. Every week the train brings more people who are eager for land. The train also brings more lumber and logs for houses, stables, fences, and barns. Papa helps pace out the town square. It will be a gathering place for concerts and socials and speeches. Like the square back east, the ones back home, the ones they remember as children. Only one thing is missing. Katie and the children know it. The townsfolk and the farmers know it too. There are no trees on the prairie. No trees for climbing or for shade. No trees for fruit or warm winter fires. No trees for birds or for beauty. At the town meeting, everyone agrees that a proper town, their town, needs trees. Mrs. Johansson passes a basket. Precious nickels, dimes, and quarters tumble in. Jingle, jingle, clink. Katie adds her own 6 pennies and Papa's silver dollar. When the basket is heavy, Mr. Klein taps out an order over the telegraph lines. Send 15 trees. Days tick by. Sunny days, rainy days, windy days, when dust devils dance in the road. At last the telegraph lines tap back. Trees are coming. Doo! When the train pulls in, folks hurry to the depot. Babies and dogs come too. Katie skips beside Papa, swinging her bucket and dolly. They're here. Papa, Mr. Zimmerman, and all the O'Briens carefully unload the boxcar, counting as they go. 13, 14, 15. Katie stares at the saplings, spindly and green. They're too little. Don't worry, they'll grow, promises Papa, but Katie isn't sure. Katie and Papa follow the parade of trees in Newtown Square. Papa and Mr. Carter dig 3 holes. Dig, swing, scoop. Dig, swing, scoop. Papa plants 3 small maples. Let me help, Katie says. She gently pats the soil down around each baby tree. Under the warm sun, more trees spring up. Someday these oaks will shade the bench, Papa says, and the elm tree will shelter the bandstand. But Katie isn't sure. Neighbors plant 4 maples near the church, 1 apple tree on the corner, and 3 chestnut trees in the dusty schoolyard. Danny O'Brien leads the bucket brigade. Katie lugs her bucket too. Cool drinks for the thirsty trees and dogs. In a quiet corner of the square, Papa and Katie dig a hole together. Here they plant a flowering dogwood in memory of Mama. Katie touches the tender leaves. It is very little, but this is our special tree, she whispers. Papa hugs her. Yes, our very special tree. As the sun begins to set, the square bristles and blooms with green. Papa and Katie spread their blanket next to Mama's tree. Katie peeks into the basket. There's plenty of food to share with friends and dogs and Dolly. As old Doc fiddles up the moon, neighbors gather their children and dogs and wave goodnight. Let's do this again next year. And they do. Year after year, they gather in the square for another Arbor Day, a tree planting day, a holiday. Carrying shovels, rakes, and hoes, Katie and Papa help plant trees throughout the town. Trees for climbing and for shade, trees for fruit and warm winter fires, trees for birds and for beauty. And every year, Papa laughs and tells Katie, "Don't worry, honey, they'll grow." And every year they do. It's another Arbor Day. Neighbors, kids, and dogs hurry to the square. Here come Katie and Danny O'Brien with their Megan Ann. Katie's papa, now a grandpa, holds one of Megan's hands. In the square lies a small row of saplings, spindly and green. Katie smiles. "One day that willow will sweep the pond," she says, "and there the cedar will sweep the sky." Megan shakes her head and Katie laughs. "Don't worry, honey, they'll grow. Now let's find your grandma tree." Megan runs across the square. Her family follows just behind. There, Katie spreads out their blanket under the blooming dogwood tree. Robins rustle in the leaves. Sparrows chirp and flutter. Megan peeks into the basket. There's plenty of food to share with friends and dogs, and Bear. When the moon rises, silver and round, neighbors gather up children and grandchildren and whistle for the dogs. "See you here again next year," they called. And they do. Celebrating families, trees, and neighbors, year after year, and the year after that.